China and Brazil have reached an agreement to abandon the US dollar, marking a significant shift away from the United States by the world's second-largest economy. Today we will explore the details of this development, the reasons behind it, its potential impact on you, and whether you should be concerned. It is essential to take this matter seriously because billionaire Ray Dalio has predicted the imminent collapse of major economies, which historically happens cyclically every 100 years, and we need to prepare for such predictable events. Okay guys, before we continue, do well to give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. So thank you guys so much. And now with that said, let's begin. In summary, for the past 80 years, the US dollar has been the most dominant currency, globally known as the reserve currency, due to its widespread acceptance. Since 1945, the US dollar has maintained this position due to its stability, security, and resilience. The system was initially implemented to stabilize the prices of commodities, investments, and exchange rates. With the US dollar serving as the benchmark, having a universal currency that is widely accepted helps facilitate trade between numerous countries. Without it, there is a risk of receiving payment in a currency that may be difficult to exchange or has lost value by the time of conversion to the desired currency. Think of it as a global transfer of value that takes place through the US dollar, which has been agreed to be a safe currency. This benefits the United States as more countries hold bonds of the US dollar, increasing its buying power. However, there is a risk of losing the reserve currency status, as explained by Ray Dalio's changing world order. Throughout history, there has been a constant shift in the world order between leading and rising economies, resulting in the replacement of reserve currencies. The British pound was the reserve currency before 1945, lasting for 105 years after the French Revolution, followed by the Netherlands, Spain, Portugal, Venetian gold, and so on. It is a known fact that reserve currencies do not last forever and typically change every 100 years, with a transitional period lasting between 10 to 20 years. According to Ray Dalio, 3 categories summarize this phenomenon: rise, top, and decline. During the rise of a new reserve currency, there is a period of peace and prosperity as people bet and borrow on the system continuing. This process is usually characterized by a strong focus on education, critical thinking, character building, and a work ethic that facilitate innovation, new technologies, and resources to increase productivity. However, financing this continuous rise in productivity requires a borrowing system that allows people worldwide to convert their currency into investments that share in the success of this process. Ray Dalio notes that all successful reserve currencies follow the same path leading to the top. At the peak, people earn more, and their time becomes more valuable relative to other countries willing to do the same work for less. Additionally, other countries can copy the latest innovation at a lower cost, reducing the leading power's competitiveness. The tipping point comes when people lose faith in the reserve currency, refuse to buy it, and would instead sell it, leading to its decline. According to Ray Dalio, in times of economic recession, a country cannot sustain its debts and must decide between defaulting or printing more money. They typically choose to print more money, which devalues the currency and raises inflation. The central bank has intervened 3 times since the 1990s to finance an industry collapse, namely during the dot-com bubble, the mortgage crisis, and the COVID shutdown. Okay guys, I hope you smashed that like button already, and you should probably subscribe too. Ray Dalio notes that throughout history, during times of economic instability or rising inflation, governments have struggled to fund themselves and the wealthy have sought to protect their assets by moving their investments and currencies to safer havens. This has opened the door for other nations to potentially take over as the new reserve currency. While each historical shift has been unique, some patterns can help predict what may happen in the future. Currently, the value of the US dollar is weakening, and it's not just a matter of being worth $1. The dollar's value is tracked against 3 metrics: its exchange rate to other currencies, the demand for 10-year treasury notes, and the amount of US dollars held by other countries, known as foreign currency reserves. Additionally, the US has had to resort to printing more money to sustain its debts during economic downturns, which can lead to inflation and devalue the currency. The central bank has stepped in multiple times since the 1990s to finance industry collapses. Regarding the exchange rate for other currencies, although the value of the US dollar has been gradually decreasing since 2020, it has recently been higher than its value over the past 20 years. Despite a recent drop, the demand for 10-year treasury notes, which is essentially a loan to the government and a safe investment option, has a direct impact on the US dollar's value. As interest rates increase, demand for these bonds also increases, which is beneficial for the US dollar. However, the situation with foreign currency reserves is less optimistic. Other currencies are beginning to take the place of the US dollar, as seen by the declining trend over the past 25 years, according to CNBC. This brings us to the current situation. On March 29th, China and Brazil announced that they struck a deal to trade their currencies, bypassing the US dollar and its intermediary role. This deal would allow them to trade directly with each other without the need to purchase US dollars in the process. With their yearly transactions amounting to around $150 billion, this move is not unprecedented. As China has been gradually moving away from the US dollar since 2010, and Russia and India already made a similar decision a year ago, Saudi Arabia also expressed its openness to trading in the Chinese yuan. In addition, China, Russia, Brazil, India, and South Africa joined forces to transact in their reserve currency, called BRICS, separate from the US dollar. While this move may not be a surprise, it could have a significant impact, as China's trading volumes soared after the Russian-Ukraine conflict, and sanctions allowed them to gain a stronger foothold in international trade. The question now is whether the US should be concerned about the possibility of losing its status as the reserve currency. As of now, although the future of the US dollar seems uncertain, there is currently no viable alternative to replace it. While it may not be reassuring to hear that China's economy is projected to surpass the US by 2030, or that the BRICS nations are among the world's fastest growing economies, the US dollar still accounts for the vast majority of global transactions, and its dominance is unlikely to diminish anytime soon. Several conditions must be met before a new reserve currency could emerge. And even then, it may not happen as anticipated, or have an impact that we can accurately predict, barring any unforeseen catastrophic events that could disrupt global trade and the US's role in it. There are still concerns to be had, especially since even prominent figures like Elon Musk have expressed worry. The heavy-handed policies of the US have led countries to seek alternatives to the dollar. In addition, excessive government spending has caused other countries to absorb a significant portion of US inflation. Barron has reported that the US stimulus package during the financial crisis led to a currency war that weakened the dollar to boost the US economy. This is a real danger, as other countries may try to compete. Even Saudi Arabia has entered into a new trade agreement, which will add more pressure on the US. Despite the challenges and competition that the US dollar is facing, it is still the dominant currency in the global economy. As mentioned earlier, it makes up the majority of global transactions, and its dominance is not going away anytime soon. This is due to various factors, including the size and strength of the US economy, the stability and transparency of the US financial system, and the fact that the US dollar is widely accepted and trusted as a means of payment and store of value. Furthermore, the US government and the Federal Reserve have taken steps to maintain the US dollar's status as a reserve currency, such as implementing monetary policies that aim to stabilize the currency and promoting international trade agreements that involve the US dollar. Additionally, the US dollar's status as a reserve currency is reinforced by its use in international trade and financial transactions, as well as the fact that many central banks hold significant amounts of US dollar reserves. While there are concerns about the US dollar's future as a reserve currency, it is unlikely that it will be replaced by another currency soon. The process of transitioning to a new reserve currency would be complex and time-consuming, and it is not clear which currency would be able to replace the US dollar. Moreover, the US government and financial institutions are well aware of the importance of the US dollar as a reserve currency and will take measures to maintain its status. Alright guys, that wraps up our video for today. Thank you for sticking with me to the end. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already.